Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Gurpreet Kaur, your career growth expert. And today, first of all, happy Monday. I hope you had an amazing weekend. And first, let's do some check. Am I even live? Let me know in the comment section if you can see me live. Um, and let me know where you're tuning in from. So let's do some introduction. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Gurpreet Kaur Man. I'm a career strategist who is an expert in helping career professionals build six-figure careers, becoming top earners in their fields. I have helped hundreds of people around the world land 200 and 500K salary job offers and building a career where they are the top earners in their profession. Hi, Melissa. Okay, I have a confession. I actually miss LinkedIn audio, my LinkedIn audio rooms. Yes, we can see you live tuning in from Calgary. Hello. Um, Honestly, I miss LinkedIn audio rooms. If you ever joined my audio rooms, honestly speaking, I miss them. I don't mind doing LinkedIn lives either, because this is how I actually did start my journey, was doing LinkedIn lives. And then 2023, I just used to do LinkedIn audio rooms, and I just loved it because you can get to speak to everybody. But that LinkedIn removed the audios. So we won't be able to do that. But what we can do is I'm going to invite you to join me live in my studio. I'm going to drop the link here. You don't have to have your camera on. But I can only have 10 people, okay? So I've dropped the link if you want to join me inside my LinkedIn audio room. Not audio room, inside my studio. You can join me now. Here's the link to joining. Feel free to join. Hop on, and if you have any questions. Okay, so today, hi Gordon. Hi Melissa. Hi Nicole. Oh, Melissa saying I missed them also. Yeah, it was just fun. It was more interactive. The best future, and I don't know why LinkedIn removed it. But hey, I don't mind doing LinkedIn lives either, but I just feel that there's less engagement involved with the lives. But yes, people can catch the replays with it. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out my setup. Hope it's correct. Okay, so today I'm actually conducting a training today, and the training is going to be on 5 hiring managers. One second. Okay, so the training will be on, today I'm going to talk about the 5 hiring managers you need to impress to land job interviews or job offers as well. Okay, so 5. Also, before I begin, I want to know where you're tuning in from. Are you currently looking for a job? Or maybe you've just had your performance review. So where are you in your career? Are you currently looking for a new opportunity? Okay, so I see people commenting. I have work for IT. Hello. I don't know how to pronounce that name, so I'll just go with Mr. Patel. Hello. Okay, so let me know if you're currently looking. Those that are joining me in the studio, feel free to write your comments in the private chat so I can follow along with you. Who is currently looking for a role, and how long have you been searching? Tell me also, what's the one obstacle you're currently facing in your job search? In the meantime, I'm just going to fix my camera. Okay, hopefully this is better. Okay, so we have Gordon saying I've been looking since September. Shushka connecting from Toronto, welcome. I'm looking for IT support role and looking for jobs since 3 months. Currently looking, I was getting interviews and getting passed over for an internal hire, but in the last few weeks, been getting any interviews. I'm searching for roles, emergency management, mid-techs, okay. Landing interviews after multiple applications, networking, editing resumes, okay. Okay, so you know what? Everybody that's been writing their comments in the chat, thank you so much. I'm going to say today you're in the right room because we're going to be talking about the 5 different types of managers. Also, there's not just 5 types. So what I'm about to teach today is about the 5 types of hiring managers you need to impress on your resume in order to land interviews, as well as when you're in the interviews to convert them into job offers. This also applies to the 5 types of recruiters that you need to impress in order to land interviews. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me share my screen. Put on do not disturb. Okay, let me know if you can see my. Okay, sorry. Let me put on do not disturb. Phone's going off. Okay, so there are 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers you need to impress. And this is backed by psychology. So this is based by psychology. There's a science behind this. So I would recommend everybody getting a pen and paper, or however you take notes. Maybe you have AI, that assistant that can take notes for you. Just get your pen and paper out and be taking notes, because this is going to be a game changer. When you can understand the different types of recruiters and different types of hiring managers, you'll be able to write a better resume. You'll be better equipped to how to ace those interviews as well. Okay. Okay, so Gordon's saying, challenging my salary ranges that I give. In some instance, it's not enough technical skills I worked in. Okay, so we're going to cover all this. Also, in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I will be doing a Q&A. If you are joined in the studio with me, you'll be able to actually ask your questions directly to me. You don't have to write it in the comment section. Okay, so if you can see my slides, put a thumbs up in the comment section so that I know you can see this. Yes, okay, we are good to go. Let's do this. Okay, so 5 types of hiring managers. So I have color coded these so the 5 types are based on color coded. So the first type are the white color. So white hiring psychology. So I call this hiring psychology because this applies to both recruiters and hiring managers. So the color group white, they are innovators and trendsetters. These type of recruiters and hiring managers respond to short communication because they are already sold on you. So what do I mean by they're already sold on you? They either you were recommended for this role, or your LinkedIn presence on LinkedIn has captured their attention. This is where LinkedIn profile will come in really handy. Especially your section about recommendations, where people have recommended you, and also when you're writing content on LinkedIn, this is where the game changer will happen. Those that are white type of hiring managers and recruiters. So this is the color white. not our skin tones. Okay, just want to make sure that no one's taking this out of context and think I'm saying the white people. This is just the color coded system. Okay, so why hire? Short communication, because they're already sold on you. So one, as I said, that this could be through LinkedIn, this could be through a coworker recommending you. They have done their research on you, so they've done a research deep dive on you, and they are ready to hire you. Okay, so these are the best type of recruiters and hiring managers that we want to impress and get in front of, because these people go based on research recommendations, as well as your LinkedIn presence will help convert your land you interviews really, really fast without having to even apply for a job. As well as when you're in the interview, they're already sold on you. Now you just got to close that deal and convert those interviews into conversations to then landing the offer. Okay. Now, yellow group, the color coded yellow. Okay. So based on psychology, the people in the yellow group, they are early adopters and motivated by stories. So this is where the art of storytelling in your resume will come into play and will really be the key here to success in impressing the yellow group. This is where your LinkedIn profile has that story. This is where when you're in the interviews, you're having this, you're using the storytelling format to have to answer your questions, but you're also converting those interview questions into conversations, and now you're engaging in a meaningful conversation. Okay, so the yellow group, so yellow group of recruiters and hiring managers, they respond to your emotions, feelings, stories, transformations, and they're probably like the dreamers of the group. Okay, so this is where the invoking the emotion in the reader is so important. So the emotion you want them to feel is they got to be moved by what they're reading. You want them to feel, oh my God, you're the best candidate for this role. Oh my God, we found what we're looking for. Even the feelings, right? And then the transformations, how you've transformed each organizations you have worked for. So this is where we do the transformation stories of before and after is really important to show. Okay, and this is where then we take them on a dream, on a visualization where they can see this happening for them. So this is the yellow group. Again, this is based on psychology. Okay, so next group is blue, hiring psychology. Okay, so the blue groups, these are laggers and people that are not easily going to believe what you have to say. So they're not going to believe every word that comes out of your mind. And what they make decisions is based on data, stats, matrix, and recommendations, references, testimonials. And this is where the testimonials will come in really handy on your LinkedIn recommendation. So go get those recommendations, fill that LinkedIn with every person you've ever worked with should be writing you recommendations. This is where it will come in really, really handy. Okay, data. This group of people want to see data. They're not just going to take your word for it. You have to show data. And this is why matrix are so important on your resumes, as well as in those interviews when you're answering questions, that you're also using data as well. Okay, so this is the matrix group that will make decisions based on the data you're showing. Now, the green group, number 4. These are the idealistic bunch. Okay, so based on, again, this is green group based on psychology. And these guys respond to the benefit beyond money, value-based, and like-mindedness. So this is a group of hiring or recruiters who will, especially hiring managers, who are going to respond to something they look for greater than money. So they're not going to look, they're going to look at for things, how you will integrate into the group, how well will you add on to the organization, how will you be a key team player. So this is where when companies look for culture fit, fitting into the group. So this is what they're looking for, the benefit beyond money. Value based is do you have the same values as the organization, the hiring manager? Do you like-mindedness is like, you know how we tend to get along with people who have our like-mindedness, who are like us. So this is where that similarities come in. Okay, so this is a group for color green. So I color coded this just to make it easy. Okay. Now, number 5, red hiring psychology. So this is a group of red group, color red, again, based on hiring psychology. Red is decision makers, leaders, early adopters, get lost in the facts and skim the resume. They will also skim in the interviews as well. These type of hiring managers also are like quick to make decisions. They also operate from a FOMO base, like fear of missing out. They're also looking for the missing link. Okay, so these guys are really quick to respond. And this is where that resume now, let's just talk about the resume. This is where the resume now has to be written in a style that it's easy to scan for recruiters and hiring managers that are in this group. And where you're easily like, I use a copywriting system to write resumes for my clients, and it's based on psychology and making it really easy to scan, especially for the reds, because they'll be looking for key information. They don't want to waste their time, and within a few seconds they made a decision if they want to call you for an interview or not. So these guys are quick to make decisions, and they will just get lost in the facts and skim the resume. So it's really important that we're pointing out facts and bolding them in our resumes so that it's easy for them to find the information. And same thing in our interviews, we're focusing on facts as well. Okay. Now, these are the 5 types of hiring managers, but that's not to say that you should just create one resume to speak to one person. What's really important is that you're speaking to all 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers that I just went over in your resumes, in those interviews, in order for you to land interviews, as well as in the interviews to convert them into job offers. Okay, so a recap. I went over 5 types of hiring managers. Number 1 are the white groups. They're color coded, so color white. Number 2 is the group yellow. Then number 3 was blue, the group blue. And number 4 is green. And number 5 is the red decision makers, the quick decision makers. Okay. So these are the 5 types of recruiters you need to speak to in your resumes, in your interviews, in order for you to, so in your resumes and your LinkedIn profiles, in order to land interviews. And then in the interviews, you need to speak to all 5 in order to then land job offers. Okay. So that's a quick 5 times. I hope the reason I wanted to take a moment to explain all this was simply because this information is going to help you see in a different way of how companies hire, right? Now, the ones that are quick decision makers, they just want facts, those will be like a 1-page resume will be good. So the white readers, right? And these are the people who've already done their research on you. They're ready to hire you. They're already sold. They're already ready to interview you. These are the people that you can write a 1-page resume to, right? But you can't write a 1-page resume for the yellows or the blues or the greens and the reds, because they're looking for more information, and then that's not going to cut it. That's why it's really important. Again, this is based on psychology, and not just one recruiter said this, another said this. This is why when you speak to recruiters or hiring managers, everyone's going to give you different advice. Why? Because everybody recruits differently. Everyone, again, remember that we're human beings. No 2 human beings operate from the same space or operate the same way. Okay, so let's open the floor for Q&A. Does anybody has questions based on the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers you need to impress in order to land interviews and job offers? If you have questions, you can either drop them in the comment section or join me in the studio. And those that are already in the studio with me, do you have any questions? Okay, so any questions based on what I just went over? The 5 types of hiring managers. Any questions here? Okay, Gordon? You have a question?
Yes. How can we create a Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
How can we create our resumes to match the 5 aspects of these psychological, profiles of hiring modalities?
Great question. So how do we create a resume that will speak to all 5 of these individuals? Is that one, you need to have, so for the right groups, you need to have short communication because they're already kind of sold on you, right? So this is where we don't want to have a lot of lengthy wordings on our resumes. For the yellow group who responds to emotions and stories and transformation, this is where we want to take our bullets and tell a story. So we want to use storytelling format.
Okay.
And for the blues, this is where when we're telling so now building from each. So the whites respond to quick information. They want short communication. But then we need to also respond to the yellows, which is storytelling and transformation. So now we can take the same bullet that we're trying to communicate to the whites, but now we can expand on it and make it into a storytelling format, which also shows some data and matrix to impress the blues because they want to see matrix. And then we want to communicate how the company benefited from you in each of the organization. This will impress the greens. And then the reds, we want to add some fear-based into our resumes that will give them that, oh my God, I'm missing out if I don't pick up the phone and call this person.
But how do we know? We have no way of knowing what type of modality these recruiters or hiring managers are until we're in the room. So those who are looking, how do we create that? Because there's no way of knowing if I apply for a job and then I've got like 4 different types of resumes because I had 3 different recruiters contradict themselves. No, it's too long. Oh, it's not long enough. Oh,
Yeah,
you
that's
need to expect, and it's just there needs to be some way of creating a resume or CV that when you apply, it touches all those points of those 5 modalities.
Yeah, you have to create.
What would that look like?
It will look like something like this. I've created it so I teach you how to write a resume like this inside my coaching programs, even as well as my resume writing course. I teach this as well. So you're not going to get it right off the bat, but yes, this is why you do have conflicting information. It's why I'm teaching this, is that your resume has to have to cover all 5. And it cannot leave out, you can't shorten things because then you're losing out on the other 4, right? You're then only targeting the one group. So your resume can't just be short. It has to, again, cover. This is the art of copywriting. So this is a resume I've removed personal information. This is a resume I wrote for a client. So you can see this person has over 15 years of experience, but we only kept it for like 3 pages. Now, if you look at everything, the information is short to the point. There are some information that we have expanded on, but we are using Matrix to hit the to cover all 5 groups. We are telling stories, but we're also keeping them short, but we're also using Matrix to tell those stories.
Okay.
So now we're covering all 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers because we are telling short stories. Now, the white group is already sold on you. They're sold on you based on your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn recommendations. They've done their research on you before they even call you for an interview. A lot of times, even myself, I would do my homework on a candidate before I want to speak to them, depending on the role. The more senior the role is, the more I'm going to be reaching out to my network, looking at your LinkedIn profile, doing my own homework on research. This is where we have to leverage LinkedIn as well. So resume and LinkedIn. Sorry?
My applications, they do offer the field for putting your LinkedIn profile, your URL. So I do that, and yes, I had been told that they have checked out my. That's why I learned I had my high school when I graduated in my LinkedIn profile, which was kind of dating me. So I removed it because it's one of the things you don't want on your LinkedIn profile because it promotes. It leaves room for age discrimination, and so what was recommended was to have that on your resume for education. But I totally forgot I had it on my LinkedIn profile until one of the recruiters asked,
So it depends how your LinkedIn is set up. So I don't know how your LinkedIn looks like, but your LinkedIn can't read like a resume. It can't read like a job description. What I see a lot of people doing on their LinkedIn is their LinkedIn are not optimized for even recruiters to find you. And then the recommendations, a lot of people are not even have any recommendations, or they have a couple of recommendations, not recent recommendations. They don't have the experience section fully explaining what they've accomplished in those roles. Again, touching on these 5 types of recruiters. Now, when it comes to writing for all 5, yes, is it going to be easy? Easy if you know how to write a resume to all 5, how to put a LinkedIn profile that would target all 5. But keep in this, the reason I'm explaining that there's 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers is because a lot of people have been writing 1-page resume, but that's not going to work for all type of people.
Yet the directive we're getting from recruiters and hiring managers is 1 page is more than enough, and then we're being told, you're telling us that that's not the case. So what is the standardization? I know I've got like 3 pages because I have over 20 years experience. And so it was instructed to me that because I have that experience, yes, I should have more than 1 page to articulate the experience. Other recruiters are saying, no, it's too long. So why are we being told?
But see, this is why I'm explaining the 5 types, right? You can't just take every person you speak to and take their advice. This is why I took the time today to explain psychology. Now, everything I just walked you through is based on psychology. So you have to start assessing when any recruiter is giving you feedback, what type of group they do fall under the 5 types I just explained to you. Now, if someone's telling you it's short, keep it 1 page, that's group white who wants the short communication, right? But yes, there'll be another person saying, no, you should have 3 pages because you have 15, 20 years experience, right? Anybody's resume that was 1 page and I told them to convert it to 2 pages, they started landing interviews. There's no standard rule here. I've been working in HR for 20 plus years, and I can tell you, not even one single hiring managers ever come to me and said, I want a 1-page resume. How many pages? I think everybody's getting caught up in the wrong thing about resumes. Everybody's just focusing on pages. It doesn't matter you have 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, or even 4 page. What actually matters is the content in your resume. What are you putting in your resume? Is it speaking to the recruiter? Are you putting relevant information? Is your resume building trust right away? Is it capturing the reader's attention? Is it, as they read it, do they trust you enough to call you on an interview, or do they see you as somebody who's just bullshitting through, right? So there's a lot of elements and pieces that go into resume, and it's why I strongly advise everybody to learn how to write a resume. You can't write a resume to speak to people who just want one-page resume, because again, when you submit that when you submit your resume, exactly as you said, you don't know who the person who's reading it and how they want it. So you can assume, right? We can't make assumptions. So when you're writing just one-page resume, again, now you're just catering towards one type of group.
All right, then I'll take what you said and do more research. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, nobody saw the resume?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me re-show the resume. Okay. I thought it was showing. Okay, so this is how I incorporate and use the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers that you need to impress into a resume. Now, again, the way I write resumes and how I teach individuals, my clients, how to write resumes, we use Psychology, which is the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers backed by Psychology, as well as how people read documents in today's world. This entire resume, the way it's structured, it is based on science, based on psychology, on hiring psychology. So number one thing is you do want to claim what is it that the role you want next, claim it. In my case, in my client's case, they want an SVP role. This is a senior level role, so hence we put a hook statement. This is to capture the whites. You have short communication, right? So if you look at it, so this is a short communication that will speak to the white. Even for each role, we've captured 1 power statements to speak to, again, to the white, right? So it captures the communication right from the get-go. The other thing you'll notice is we've added numbers. Now this speaks to the blues, who want the data, who wants the matrix. This also speaks to the reds, who are quick decision makers, right? So again, a lot of times people want to go back with research, datas and figures and numbers they want. And then this also touches the greens, the storytelling, the emotion pieces in there. So when people are reading your resume, remember that you're sending it to a human being, right? So then we have a paragraph summarizing what this person's bringing to the table. Here's are 2 key evidence that support that he'll be a great candidate for this role. Again, we're telling the story with numbers. Okay, so a storytelling element is added into these 2 power statements. This is a skills table. This is to make it ATS friendly, as well as to make it scannable if someone just wants to look at your skills, because some technical roles, especially, a lot of times people just want to see if you have the skills before they even read the resume. So hence that's why we have this section here. Now with the experience section, we want to have clear timelines. What's your role, what company, from what month to what month were you working, from what year you were working, so it's clear timelines. We added this power statement here again for the whites, so it's communicating effectively. We've also added matrix. This is for the blues, who want the numbers, right? So data and storytelling. So we're capturing all 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers when we wrote this resume for one of our clients. So this is how your resume would read like if you are hitting all the 5 groups of the 5 types of recruiters. So there is an element. So yes, they are a little bit longer versions of some bullets, but we have paired it with bold, and we've using numbers. So if you can see, we've been using numbers throughout each bullet, and we're focusing on results and data information to back up the points. And it's not super long. We're focusing on the 2 key roles, and then the other ones we just listed them without having to talk about it. So this actually talks to all 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers. The fear of missing out is the emotion we want to invoke in the reader, that they must call you. I hope this connects the dots. Now, if you want to learn how to write a resume based on the 5 types of based on hiring psychology, the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers you need to impress, and you want a template to go with it to make your life easy, and some examples of resumes, just like the one I showed, you can actually purchase my resume writing course, which I'm offering it for 50% off. You can get that. The resume writing course. It's called Interview Worthy Resume. And also I've also interviewed 8 or 9 recruiters, hiring managers, VP levels for this course. And you will also be hearing firsthand how all 5 come into play from live interview recording that I did. You'll be able to see the 5 different types, where someone just wants the one page, someone doesn't care about the page, they care about the relevance information. So the bonus training that I threw in to have everything add up is that I actually invited 8 people into my I invited them to speak with them on a roundtable for this course. So you'll get access to that as well. And you will get templates, plus you'll get ChatGPT prompt scripts that are custom designed based on my teachings that you can easily use to speed up and writing your resume for you. So I'm going to drop the link. You can get it for 50% off. And those that have taken this resume writing course right away started landing interviews based following the teachings of the program. And so will you be able to do the same thing? Okay, let's again look at questions. Thanks, Grippy. Nice session. Willie, could you please briefly discuss which type of recruiter is the recruiter for someone transitioning careers? Ellen, do you want to ask your question here? You want to unmute? Ellen, you have to unmute. I wanted to get clarification on the question you were asking. Okay, can't speak. So I'm not understanding your question, because your question is, Groupie Nice Session, could you please briefly discuss which type of recruiter is the recruiter for someone transitioning careers or industry? You're asking which type of recruiter based on the 5 types would be one for transitioning careers? Is that what you're asking? So there isn't a specific recruiter for people who are transitioning. What I taught you is the 5 types of recruiters for hiring, as well as hiring managers. There's no specific recruiter that you need to target for transition. What you do need to target is to be able to communicate to all 5 types of recruiters / hiring managers to land those interviews, as well as convert those. What's really important is when you're transitioning careers, I don't know what are you transitioning from? Like what's your current role, and what role do you want to land next? If you're able to speak, we can actually have a dialogue, and this conversation can go so smoothly. From IT to sales industry. Okay, so are you a technical person? So when you say from IT to sales industry, that's industry changing. So to me, when you're changing careers, means like if you're actually doing IT role and now you want to go into sales. But if you're going from tech industry to sales industry, that's not, to me, that's not career transitioning. That's just you want to get into a different industry. Technical IT to tech IT sales. So you're a technical IT person. When you say you're technical, can you give me some background? Are you able to talk? I understand you're in a noisy place, but we can have a dialogue. If I can just speak with you. Technical IT to IT sales. I don't see how this will be a big barrier, because to be a technical salesperson, you have to understand the technology. You being the end user that you're selling to, you'll be able to connect the dots faster. But yes, sales is a whole different beast, because again, sales is operated from understanding how people buy, how people make decisions. There's a lot of psychology that goes behind it. So I don't know if you've taken any sales training. Also, the key would be why do you want to move into IT sales? Is something I would actually even start with the question of why do you want to why do you even want sales? I was in network management, cybersecurity for a couple of years. So that's great. I would just look at, why do you want to move into tech sales? And then how can you sell? Because in the end of the day, sales is all about, can you sell? Do you have a proven method that will generate sales? And if in any of the current roles you were working in, did you actually sell? Okay, so if you already got good offers a couple of times, that's great. So then you know that you can easily transition. Okay, if you got really good offer a couple of times, then what stopped you from going with any of the offers? Okay, you can actually call in and ask questions. I dropped the link in the comments in the chat section. Feel free to hop on, call in, and ask your questions. I actually love speaking to people. This is why I miss the audio rooms, because you were able to speak to people. The best way I can get to speak with you is give you the link. It's StreamYards. You have to hop on the call. Let's have a dialogue. I love speaking to people because I like to get as much information as possible in order to help guide you better. So just be able to speak. Let's try this, Ellen. You say, yeah, I think that would be the best. Are you able to speak now? Okay, the call is only while I'm live during the session that you'll be able to speak with me, not after the session is closed. So who here? Okay, so any questions on hiring, IT related? We can even jump into, I can even review resumes if you want to review resumes. Okay, you can also, I'm happy to review resumes. If you want to hop on this call, I'll be happy to review your resume. There's the link. If anybody wants to get me to review their resumes, feel free to review. Hi, Beodip. Okay, any questions, guys, on the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers you need to impress? No questions? Okay, then. Last call for resume reviews. I'm finding a job since 3 months, but I'm not getting jobs in because my resume is not optimized. Okay. Your resume needs to, I know you were on the training today. Your resume needs to speak to all 5 types of recruiters in order for you to start landing interviews. Hi. Are you
Yes, ma'am. Are you able
just
to
call me Gurpreet? No, there's no need to add the word ma'am.
Gurpreet? So, like, I'm finding my job since 3 months, and like, I changed a lot of resumes, but I'm not able to like get a job. Like, not even interviews. Is it because my the resume is not
Yeah.
optimized or something with my LinkedIn?
Definitely, the resume is an issue. When you are applying to jobs online, you are going into the pool of competition. So
Yes.
when we're submitting our resumes, the one thing that you always have to keep in mind is that you're now going into competition. So how do you be the one that lands an interview out of the thousands of people that are applying for the same job as you? I think that's one of the biggest missing piece that I find that a lot of people don't take into consideration when they hit that submit button. You're not the only person that's applying to the role. How are you going to be the one that now lands interviews?
And ma'am, I'm in my like early stage for landing the job. Like I just have one year experience at back home in India. So I'm a new here in the Canada for the job market.
Okay.
So what's the like how can we arrange the sections like summary sections, education sections like that way?
Okay, so let me share some facts. Okay, here's some
Yeah.
hard facts. A single corporate job opening gets an average of 250 plus applications. So this is Glassdoor saying this, but let's add more to that. Some companies are getting thousands of applications. I'm just gonna mute you because there's a lot of background noise coming from your end. Okay. Um, so I'm just gonna share this data before I bring you back up. I think this might help a lot of people connect the dots. Over 80% of resumes don't make it past the first screening, and only 1 in 10 gets a hiring manager's attention. Less than 3% of sent resumes result in job interviews. So you actually have less than 3% chance of landing an interview when you're applying to jobs online. Average time a hiring manager spends looking at a resume is 7 seconds. Employers, 99% employers search for candidates on social media. 47% recruiters believe that the employee must know about the company. The candidate must know about the company. Now, here's the preferences. Candidate with work experience 90.6. So let's round this off to 91% is employers want people with experience, right? Preferences they prefer. 64, round this up to 65% employers prefer candidates with relevant work experience. 26% employers prefer candidates with work experience of any type, and only 5% prefer candidates with no work experience. So this data will help you understand the importance of the experience you show on your resume. It has to be relevant. It has to speak to the role you're applying to. Job interviews that 75% of applicants aren't even actually qualified to do the job. 2% of applicants will be called for an interview. So this is some facts, hard facts of the recruitment industry on how recruitment is done and what companies look for when they post those job postings. And now your resume has to, let me see if I have it. Let me find. Your resume has to do, let me pull up my deck. Okay, this is what your resume has to do. If you want to start landing into it, not only does it speak to the 5, I'm going to share a couple of slides here to help you. Okay, here, I'm already sharing. So your resume should tell the employer the value you bring to the table, okay? The value you're bringing to the table, how you will solve their problems, the results you will get for them when you solve their problems by the solutions you implement, the ROI. So these are the 4 things that you must communicate on your resume. The value that you're going to add to them, the problems you are exceptionally great in solving, the problems they have that you can actually solve because you've already solved these problems before, the results you're going to get for them when you solve their problems. ROI, return on the investment. When a company is hiring, they're making an investment. Your salary, your benefits, the perks, the employee assistance program, your total composition is given to you, and that's an investment company makes because they want to get a return out of it. So I think this is also one piece that a lot of people don't understand when they're job searching is what's the ROI that I will be generating for the company when they hire me, because they're making an investment. They're paying a salary. They're paying for my benefits. They're giving me all these employee perks, the total composition, right? Companies are not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing, when hiring is an investment, each organization makes an investment because then they want an ROI. Each organization's hiring people to make their companies even more profitable. Okay, here I'm going to say this one more time and write this down. Companies are hiring talent to make their organization, their business even more profitable. Profits. You have to understand that every business bottom line is to make profits. A lot of companies who did tech layoffs or any layoffs this year, last year, in mid 2023, they were doing it to cut cost to increase their profits. Even companies who were making billions of dollars did layoffs, but they were still also hiring, right? So when you understand the game, in order to win, you have to know how to play the game. And I think a lot of people who are job searching don't know how to play the game. And I see this every single day on LinkedIn when people are saying, oh, why are company posting this job and they want master's degrees, but yet they only want to pay you $70K. Why is company doing this? Why am I not getting feedback? Why I got auto rejected? There's a lot. And to me, when people are speaking like that, that tells me that they don't understand how to play to win. So if you want to win at your job search, you need to understand how to play the game, right? And the other thing is 8 key elements your resume must have in order for it to convert into job interviews is, one, it's got to be a scroll stopper. You got under 3 seconds to grab someone's attention. Okay, so that's what scroll stopper means. 2, you got to communicate your value, the value you will add to the person. Number 3 is the language. The type of words you're using to communicate on your resume is the number one important piece in writing a resume. The language has to be one of the exact same language that company you're applying to speaks. Not the way you speak, but the way they speak. So this is where we have to build the relevance piece. You have to use the wordings that are relevant to the person you're sending this to. So you speak in their language, not in your language. The art of storytelling. Now, if you look at how I earlier talked about 5 types of hiring managers, this is how you're going to speak to all 5 when you start adding these 8 elements to your resumes. When you are speaking in your resume, when you're communicating, the person, when you use the storytelling method, you'll be able to take that person on a journey. When they're reading, they can be able to visualize exactly what you're communicating to them. Transformation. You have to tell stories of transformations before and after to show where the organization was before, and then the solution you implemented, it took them to what, right? So like, for example, we do like weight loss. A lot of people will share their clients before and after. Like personal trainers will show their clients before and after. This is what they were when they started with me, before they started with me, and this is how much they lost weight before, after they went on my 3-month program, for example, right? So before and after. We all have those transformational stories at work as well, before and after pieces. OMG factor. This is where the emotion piece now comes in. We want to invoke the emotion when the reader is reading that, oh my God, you're the perfect candidate for the role. You are the candidate they were looking for, right? They got to be totally in love with you. So that's the emotion piece that we need to add into your resume. And the FOMO is for the red group, fear of missing out. And then the last piece is you want to turn the reader into a raving fan, especially recruiters. First point of contact, when you submit that application online, you're most likely 9 out of 10, it's a recruiter or HR that's reviewing your resume, or talent acquisition, right? 9 out of 10. So you want to convert that reader, the recruiter, the talent acquisition specialist, HR, into your raving fan, so that they go and sell you to the hiring manager, especially if they're the white group under the 5 types, that's where this raving fan will come in beautifully into the play, is because we want to then we got to turn the reader into raving fans, so they automatically go and sell us to the hiring manager, and then the hiring manager will say, okay, yes, I want to speak with this person. So they're doing all the selling, they're doing all the convincing to the hiring manager, and this is perfect for the group of the white, to get those the color-coded system that I was showing you guys earlier, the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers, and you want to get them to be your raving fans. This is what's the key elements that need to be in a resume for you to able to start converting those resumes into interviews. Does that help?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, Gurpreet. Thank you so much.
My question would be to you, do you actually know how to write a resume like that?
I understand, some of the, like, my summary was not, you told us like there is a captivating words, like we have just 3 seconds to impress the recruiters, right? So the summary is not, it's not like captivating. It just, I just written over, I'm a service technician with this. So I have to work on that to make it like impressive.
Do you
So
know
then,
how to write one that's going to be impressive?
no, right now.
Okay, so grab my resume writing course, where I teach you actually how to write. I don't call them profile summaries. We don't want to write profile summaries. What we want to write is our unique value proposition statement. The value you bring to the table that's going to add value to the person who's hiring.
Okay.
And all the 8 elements, I walk you through how to write a resume to hit those 8 elements, how to write a resume for all 5 types of recruiters, the language, plus you get a templates to go with it. Plus I crafted even my own custom ChatGPT prompts to help you speed up in writing resume. So all the guesswork has been taken out. You can, it's roughly around 3 hours course. It's self-paced, do it yourself. The minute you purchase, you get access to everything, plus inside knowledge from 8 top recruiters, from like even Deloitte to VPs. I had three VPs in the call as well. So you're actually going to get hiring inside knowledge from a lot of top recruiters as well as VP levels to really understand how to craft that resume that's going to land your interviews. So all the guesswork I've taken it out for all you guys. Instead of struggling and trying to figure out how to do things, instead of hitting on, sitting and spending endless hours on internet, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you're trying to get this information, I can tell you that no one's sharing the information that I am. I'm cutting your work in half, and I've designed my teachings are done backed by science of psychology that's going to help you convert those resumes fast into interviews. So if you want fast results and you want to land interviews fast, stop wasting time trying to figure things out and get my resume writing course that's already figured it out for you.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Nope, ma'am.
Okay. Arshad? Arshad, do you want to ask your question? Does applying for a position 2 weeks after the position posting date affect the likelihood of being considered for review? Do you want to ask your question?
Sorry about that. Hi, Gurpreet. Yes.
Hi.
One of the, and I guess based on your experience, it, when a job, it gets posted and you are alerted, does time matter? So I guess, like a shelf life of it, to even get,
No.
the eyes on it, even if it's for 7 seconds. That's what my question was.
Does the timing of when you apply matter?
Yeah.
That's the question?
Yes.
Now, if you got an alert for a job and then you see it's been posted for 2 weeks, does it matter? No. If it's still posted, you can apply to a job. I remember one time I landed an interview for a role that was posted like 3 months ago.
Okay.
You have nothing to lose. What do you have to lose?
True.
Sometimes, the position is still posted simply just because they still haven't found a candidate.
Agreed. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And I will basically review your the link that you sent. I think so far you've mentioned has been very powerful, especially the piece regarding the storytelling and connecting. I mean, my resume is, I would say, fairly good, but I think there's always going to be something that can be tweaked. And I think the storytelling part is the one that I would have to work on. And thank you for sharing the link. I'll look at that and go over the documents or your resources that you put on the profile.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, guys, I got to wrap up. I'm late for another call, so I hope this segment helped. Thank you for tuning in. If you missed it, not a problem. You'll be able to catch the replay on LinkedIn or YouTube, depending on where you tuned in from. So I hope this helped. I'll be bringing in a lot of training over the next few days. I'm also putting together a big training where I'll be training for 7 to 9 days on how you can land 200 and 500K job offers in 90 days or less. So I'm putting together a big training. If you want to be part of, and it's going to be free. It's free. And I'll be doing it in 2 weeks. So I just have to finalize the date. It'll be sometime in the beginning of February. So just roughly in 2 weeks from now. And it will be 7 to 9 days free training on landing 200 to 500K roles. If you want to be part of this training, feel free to DM me privately. If you're already on my email list, then just hit the reply button to the email you received today about this live training and just let me know so that I put you in the training and get you the link to you can register. All my trainings are especially my free trainings, they're always sold out. So it's like first come, first serve base, and we do stream them live on YouTube. So there's only a few amount of people that can be live with me on Zoom with me. And this time, what I'm going to do is, if you want to be live with me on Zoom, we're going to create a VIP package. There will be a fee, a small little fee, so that we can control who gets access to me on the Zoom, where you'll be able to be behind the scenes with me on the Zoom call, and you'll also get your questions answered. Those that won't be VIP members will have to watch the trainings on like YouTube or LinkedIn, where we're streaming them. Okay, so send me those messages if you want to join my free training that I'm putting together, and I'll show you behind the scenes as well if you want to be part of it, what the training is going to look like. I just showed you a snippet of it today, the 5 types of hiring managers, but I'm going to show you before we even get to 5 types, how to actually speak to them, what you need to do to really position yourself as the expert for the role to get those high-paying salary roles. Okay, so thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the upcoming my next live.